Real estate channel loading. Okay, so I've been putting off doing this real estate channel for a long time, but I feel like let's just do it. I do it on my walk. I'll tell my stories about my little real estate experiences, and that's that. Like, I can't keep putting it off. I'm already super busy if you already know who I am. But I think this is important. So here's a little story. How I began. So I actually started, we bought property in about 20 years ago in Los Angeles. I had already gone through the situation. You know, I'm an educator, so I did a teacher next door program. And I was so young. Let's say I was 24, 25. I was no more than 27 because I left that school at around that age. So when I was at my first school, I was in the teacher next door program, which means it was a lottery program. So these are like pretty much abandoned houses in the hood, and certain people are able to buy these homes because they have certain qualities. I mean, not qualities, professions, right? So teachers, they might be a police officer, right? So you get the house for half off, but you're entered into a lottery so that you can get it. What happened, somebody came to our school and he, maybe filled out a little form that said, yes, I'm interested in this. What he did was put my name in every week. He didn't really contact me. I don't remember filling out the form like really clearly. I mean, I'm sure I did. I mean, I always knew about home ownership and stuff like that because my grandparents owned their house, and my dad had a property in Alaska where I grew up. So I'm sure I probably, obviously I filled it out. So next thing I know, months and months passed. One of the teachers, the school staff, office staff says, you know what, there's a real estate agent here that came by earlier. He left a message for you. He said he has your house for you. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, it didn't even make any sense to me because I forgot about this thing that I filled out. Long story short, I had won the lottery. He had been putting my name in every week and probably a whole bunch of others. My name came up. There was a house for sale on Budlong in 92nd, I believe. It was a piece of shit property, and they are, right? But you pay $100, you get this house, and you get one of those loans to rehab it. I forgot the name of it, 201k or something like that. I could put the links in the notes for you. Anyway, I put the link in the property. I be out here walking. I do have a stick, and sometimes some people be walking, and I'm like, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. So I had to like breathe for a moment, so just bear with me, okay? He didn't even look my direction, but I looked his, okay? So, I be scary about here, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I bought this. So I was in the process in escrow with this property. It's a piece of shit of property. It's a rough area. What works really well for people when they grew up in the area, it's not too harmful for them or too scary. Obviously, I grew up in Alaska. I had not grown up in the area. I was not used to this area. It was a little scary. My daughter at the time was probably 6 years old, right? I don't know. She was, again, couldn't be over 7, right? Because I left my school, that first school, at a certain age. So I was still at the first school. Anywho, so I met this real estate agent. You got to remember, 20 some odd years ago, everybody thought I looked like a kid. No one believed I was a teacher. Even though I'm standing in front of them telling them I'm the teacher, they would still say, we can't deal with aides. We could deal with teachers, but not aides, with certain programs that I was trying to get into. And I'm like, look, I'm the teacher. So this doesn't excuse his behavior, but I got this from everybody that I look like a kid, okay? So at the time, I brought my uncle to come see the property. Really rough area, but it was pretty quiet whenever I went. I always had excellent credit, right? I didn't spend it very much, so I had good credit, right? He talked to me because I was like, I really don't know who you are, right? So what he did was go ahead and sent some referrals. This is a long time ago. We didn't have the internet real strong back then. So what he did was have people call me. But I'm young too, right? So he had somebody call me talking about I had given $10,000 to other people to get me a house. And I was like, no one would get me a house. They walked off with my $10,000. And I was like, what the hell? I told him later on when we had our blow up, I'll come back to that later. I just don't know when you give a real estate agent $10,000 to get you a house. I'm confused. Not confused. I'm questioning your intelligence. The lady he had called me. I'm like, I didn't question her. But in my mind, I'm like, something ain't right. All right, so we go see the property. My uncle sees it. We have a rehab loan in the works. Obviously, I have not dealt with anyone in construction. I don't know who would do it, all that, but we're processing it. There was a lot of delays with this escrow, but remember, I'm only supposed to pay $100. So, anyway, everything's fine. I go to the property several times. I meet with the appraiser, lots of things going on. I'm going through everything. Delay. Finally, the guy calls me and says, you know what? All you have to pay is $1,500 and, we'll finish the escrow. Everything's good. And I was like, I read the paperwork, so that's one thing. I got good credit. You can't just come with the okie doke just because you think I look like a little kid. Don't think I just don't know what's going on in the world. Anywho, I told him, listen, I read the paperwork. All I need is $100 to close this loan. I know that. It's a teacher next door program. And again, I also read the paperwork. He got $6,000 plus from the sale. So he would just have to eat part of that. That's on him. It's not me. I'm not paid to pay nothing. And he says to me, a real woman would go ahead and pay the money so she could get her house. And you know what? If you have any questions, you could ask your uncle or whoever that was who came. Now, I didn't tell you my uncle had also been investing in properties and stuff like that, which is part of the reason I had him come and see it. Anyway, so any real woman would pay the money. Ask your uncle or whoever that was, basically questioning, is that really your uncle or is that somebody else? Like, who are you to lie? Who are you for me to lie about who this person is coming to see the property? It was crazy. And then he says something like, you're going to have to do this if you don't do it, or I had already signed paperwork, but he was like, all you need is $1,500. Basically, he didn't want to pay that $1,500, thought he could pass it off to me as if I'm an okey-doke idiot. Nope. No. Anyway, I went off on him. I said, I'm probably cursed at him. I don't remember if I did or not, but let's just say I did. Anyway, I told him that you don't even have people calling me who are on my level. I have good credit, and this lady is so stupid. She's giving a real estate agent $10,000 to close a sale. I guess she got bad credit or she's stupid or something, but that's not me. So you don't even know, you're used to dealing with idiots, I guess, but I'm not that. So I had to let him know, with some few choice words. And that was that. All that to say, what happened after that is, do you know this dude calls me back the next morning to say, oh, he was calling me Miss Flino. I had a bad dream last night. I'm not lying to you. This is crazy. I had a bad dream last night. I said some things. You said some things. And everything's great. The property's ready to close. So go ahead and, we'll be done. And I said, no, I'm too young. I'm not smart enough to finish this process. And no, I'm not gonna do it. Because again, I had met his wife, or whoever he said she was. No, I had met his wife. I know he probably was in trouble for you running that mouth. That $6,000 should have been coming down, or maybe $4,000 because he was gonna have to eat that $1,600. But guess what? I walked away from that sale. I did not buy that house with him. I walked away. So this is the story before I bought the house. So I did not buy that house. I did not tell you that something else had happened. Someone got killed in front of the house, not too far away. And there was a little murder memorial over there. And it freaked me out. And this was the perfect cop-out. But he had also been very disrespectful to me, and I just couldn't see myself giving him that $6,000 for that property. I didn't even know what to do with all that. Construction, blah, 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 the neighborhood. Whew, it was too much. But that's what I told him. It's too much for me. I'm more like, a little kid. I'm not really a real woman, and I'm not going to go through the sale. I'm just walking away. And I hung up. And he called me back. And he called me back. And I didn't answer again. We did not deal with each other from then on. I don't remember his name. But I do want to tell you that I was a victim of identity theft several times after that. And I believe it was him. I have no way to confirm nor deny that allegation. Confirm or deny. Prove it, basically. But, that's what I think happened. And I'm sticking to my story.